Last year wasn't so bad. Maybe you'll be better this year. I got a better mic. So we are headed to the exhibit hall right now, and I'm going to try to get some of these table clinics in here for you. Hopefully, my batteries will last. So here we go.
Do you have the videos on, like report how she does them and stuff? I've looked on YouTube. And I haven't found like
There are a few. Yeah, yeah. It's an even amount to each vendor, but they give you one to each person.
You need help doing anything?
Huh? I want to put this camera over her shoulders. Don't say anything bad.
Take a look at it. Hold on, let me. Tilt it down some.
Never memorize. They can only we have I know every number what the color is. I just feel like helping taking much time.
Yeah.
How about like that?
You can't go too tight. Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah, I had to put the letters on top so I could see it. I'm not jealous. Yeah. Like not going like I can't write illegal, so I have to wow. And that's just a few times. Just need to get this one. What you gonna make now? I thought I might make that. Very pretty. Clouds. Got it two ways. My R, letter R. Right here.
So this one,
I do too. I like that too. But it really smells good. I don't know. I love that really. Never get tired. Okay, so you live in Seabright? Okay, so Cortex is heavier. Now, you already going to be doing that.
Right.
Not necessarily. Does the amount probably made
In acrylic.
split?
Right.
But with my acrylic, my clear,
So you can use this acrylic.
yes.
Okay.
The colors set a little bit quicker because they're made with a faster setting polymer. So you might not be able to get it totally forward to your fabric. But denture may be good, denture polymer is good. So if you're doing
Could you do repairs with your acrylic? To a denture? Okay. We do a lot of repairs.
This is all the information here on it, exactly that way there. This is a pulsar monitor, like a puppy monitor, very similar, it's different technology. Turn up your settings here, up and down for large one, small one. And you gotta put the large one. Usually people like
on the pattern under the American flag. So this will take me about 10 minutes maybe.
Okay. Okay, I can see that pretty good. We got, let's see, start at Leonie starts at 2:30. So let's. I'm a Formlabs owner. So what if you just talk to me?
That's fine.
It's a working time.
That's fine.
We'll do.
Today's,
I'm Kate.
Kate,
It's windy and dry outside.
Huh? Tippett Orthodontic Lab.
okay.
Could you just offhand, you know the working time?
Sandra Stig
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
the one I've been
Okay.
working with.
Perfect.
And oh my gosh, look at that. I was gonna let her finish this demo.
Yeah, cool.
So there's a camera up there
Okay.
in the big exhibit hall.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Branded before with Jamil.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just a mom and pop lab, and didn't know it was gonna go digital.
You have to.
Yeah, in 2018, my biggest client goes, I just bought a scanner.
Yep.
I was like, what do you want me to do with these models? I don't have a printer.
I have a printer, but I'm gonna have to, or you're gonna go somewhere else.
Call up Formlabs, because that's what all the other labs have.
Yeah.
And I got the one I bought in 2018 is still going. Still use it every day.
I said Form 2.
Form 2.
Wow.
And then Sandra sold me on the Form 3.
3B. Yeah.
The 3B Plus.
Yeah, the 3B Plus.
Because she actually emailed me, she goes, check the back of it. You might have got the plus one.
Yeah.
And I looked on the back, I'm like, yeah, I got the plus one.
There's a huge impact in dental, but obviously it was nice to have, right?
Oh.
Like the newest, greatest.
Yeah.
It didn't impact dental so much. But, a couple little things, I'd say. But we've got some cool stuff. We've got a new software launching on the 16th.
I heard, sorry, email on that.
We're using
Yes, all of a sudden, just everything's draft resin.
yeah, so we're gonna support 200 and launch the next month, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move that along to also it's gonna be optimized print settings that just shoot at about 50%.
So, draft only does 200?
Or 200, you're most likely at 100.
Okay.
Because most commercial folks are 100. Nobody's doing 200.
Yeah.
Because you give someone an appliance, it's not clear, and they're like, oh my god, this is going to fit. We know it's going to fit. The issue's not the issue is sometimes the clarity. Right? So most people have gone to 100. Just in a commercial setting. Chair side, they'll do 200 all day long because they'll just tell the patient to shut up. Right? It's true.
Right.
True. Right?
Make sure my audio is on this camera.
Okay.
Should I move it?
I mean, listen, you can capture the screen and my voice is going to come from left field.
Okay. I got a camera on your thing, and I could.
Yeah, but that's just kind of just ears if someone wants to start a conversation. I just got that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's nothing like crazy with that.
Let's see. I don't know if Phil's out there, 'cause I know Phil, he's a big foreman. Oh, what? Oh, gosh. We're going to do it later.
What is it? This is about 400 slides.
$25 Yeah. Everything is kind of, that's why I had to walk with Sophie with, translate. And my technique, having done this last year.
What do you, study?
Well, conventional way, a lathe to do a little grinding, and burn, hummus oil, and high side polish.
Large technology, try to dumb it down so anybody can use it chairside. Anybody from a prototyper to an
There's a
orthodox.
big difference from this morning to now.
Yeah, you've done it.
Big difference.
This morning it just laid so easily.
Locations around the world, okay? We have 100,000 printers out in the wild. We have 100 million parts, 35 resins, about 850 employees, 250 engineers and scientists, which I think is pretty impressive. Most of our competitors don't even have that many employees, and we just have people working to make our product better. Okay, and then 3 main factories. Hungary, Ohio is where we make all of our resin. I don't know if anybody knows that. You know, we make it outside of the Glass City. Anybody know what the Glass City is? Anybody? Anybody that knows Ohio trivia? All right, Glass City's Toledo. Owens Corning. All right. Okay, so now you know. All right. So that. Just tell you our timeline. I'm sure everyone has jumped in somewhere on this timeline. Okay. We compete primarily in SF printing. We also do have our Fuse 1, which is pretty much sunset at this point, and our Fuse 1 Plus, which is our Sinter nylon printer. There's a couple people in the ortho industry that do use that. Okay. See our applications here. If you haven't had a chance, check out our Hasbro story. You can actually scan your face and have your face in your hair printed on an action figure. So it's pretty cool. It's called the Selfie Series. Look it up. Okay, and that's on ours. Here are some of the small companies that we do business with. Maybe some people have heard of Nike or potentially Microsoft or Tesla or stuff like that. But where we're focused today is dentistry. Dentistry makes up about 30% of Formlab's overall business. We've recently very much doubled down in this space. It was an evolution that started about 3 years ago, and I think we got very serious about this in about the last 6 to 8 months. You know, we've got 25,000 plus printers in the dental industry, 18 million plus parts printed, and these are the countries that we exist and compete in. Okay. So again, there's our hardware, full hardware ecosystem. We compete in software, our resins, and then who we support educationally. This is our 3B Plus. Everyone's had a little bit of experience with this, knows what this is, right? Right. If you don't know, I'll just breeze through real quick. Low force stereolithography. We're a laser-based system. Okay. What makes our parts unique is we have a flexible film. That laser passes by, cures a single spot on what would be your model. Part pulls away. Okay. And the tank gives. That's what's big. That leads to better clarity on parts, and we feel more accuracy. Just talking about LFS versus like the DLP, which are some of our competitors and technology that they've embraced. They do layers because you're essentially a high-end projector light bulb. We do individual laser spot sizes. Okay. It just shows that accuracy on the Z height. Okay. One of the things we think is valuable to you in your lab is just the ease of use of our equipment. We're a cartridge-based system, so you don't have to pour or agitate the resin before you put it in. It's always a good idea to shake it a little bit before you put it in. But once that cartridge is in there, it can stay in there indefinitely, and the resin can stay in the tank for weeks, if not even months. Where some of our competitor resins, just using a photo initiator in there, you're going to turn that over pretty quick. Also, no one wants a glove up to go into a printer or pour resin or clean tanks, right? I'm guessing nobody likes doing that. Yeah. Nobody's raised their hand that they like doing that. Shocked, right? And then just changing in between materials is easy as just changing a tank, putting in a new resin, checking a box in your software, you're ready to go. Right? Try to make things easy. There we go. Yeah, that's no fun. Right? We do have something cool. It's called the Quick Release build platform. Okay, everybody like their fingers, right? The goal is to maintain 10 fingers. This is cool. I think it helps people harvest parts faster, reduce breakage and injuries, right? Definitely. Number one injury at Foreign Labs is people scraping parts off build platforms. I've done it myself. I'm clumsy too, so this is huge for me. And just the specs of the printer are watching up here. Okay. But this is the big thing is the automation, and I think this is more and more becoming a real reality in all industries. Okay. Particularly, I think you'll start seeing it a lot more in demo labs. Okay. So what we've got three legs on this on the stool, so to speak. We've got our Form Auto, which is our hardware. We've got our Fleet Control, which drives everything. That's the software, and then we have a high volume resin system, which is coming, just not there yet. But I'm going to talk about it because it's out there. It's not a secret. So we think in 3D printing, post-design, there's about 6 steps that go into this thing, okay? We've got our job setup and preform, talk about how you can help you there, okay? We've got queue management, like you have 8 or 10 printers, or we hope you have 60 or 80, particularly if they're Formlabs printers, right? How do you manage that? That's scary, right? And this software helps you manage that. We will reduce your part harvest time, okay, which is another huge time suck of people removing parts, plus the inefficiency of just physically getting up for someone to walk by the printer and be like, we all know 3D printing is like grass growth, right? And, it's like watching the pot boil. Collecting parts, we're going to reduce that. Reduce post-processing by batch processing, and we think we can get you a whole hell of a lot more efficient. Plus allow you to your printers to run 24 hours. Anybody here run overnight? Okay, you guys are 24. You guys are 24? Okay. You're there all 24 hours? Okay, nice. Okay. So this will allow some of your operators, or if you do skeleton crew or reduce staff, this will definitely, I think, help you. Okay, so this is a Form Auto. Retrofits your Form 3, Form 3B. Printer sits on a turntable. There's 2 arms in there. Come and pinch that quick release build platform. Parts drop, they get collected, pulled out of the machine, deposited in that basket, and that's it. Software pushes the next job. And that right there, that is capable. We're going to say conservatively, that's 700-800 models a day you can get out of that. So, all right, 8 printers, 8 autos. Okay, we're going to say 18 prints in 24 hours. I'm going to tell you, marketing got a hold of this slide. That's a little bit unrealistic. I think you're probably closer to what, 12 to 14, right then?
Yeah, because of the resin.
Yeah, you're about 12 to 14, but even draft, you go about 12 to 14. This is just it. This is going to be time elapse. That's where I get to your 96. You got about 8 models. You got 12 jobs a day, but 96 models. I think that's how math works. That's it. Just collect them. And at some point, your operator just comes and collects those and that processes. All right, there's your tech specs. 110 pounds. All right, 2x3. Doesn't take up a huge amount of room in your lab. Just looking at the bones without the printer in there. Right. Cool photos. Right. Top down. So you see that's where the hatch, where the parts release and they drop into your basket. Okay. It's kind of cool. There's an onboard camera, and I think this will really show the whole part of parts processing. The other thing too is that you can go in at any time and hack into your printer and see what's going on. Okay, this camera is live. You do your dashboard. Also, when it's parts done, stuff goes around your lab, right? This stuff disappears. People are like, dude, where's my print? Where's my print? This is actually photo documentation that the print actually finished, right? So it's underneath your lunch. So here you go. Hood's going to release. Okay, parts done. The entries are going to come in. They're going to pinch. Oh, the build platform's going to adjust. Going to pinch. It's going to go 5 times. We're hearing that it was pretty much always released on the first time. It's probably a little bit of overkill. Your build platform's gonna adjust. We're gonna scrape any excess little parts or resin off of there. Right. Gonna come through. Trap door's gonna open. Come on, trap door. Open. Dropped into a basket. Software knows that that printer's free because it detects that there's no more weight on there. It's gonna push another job to it.
If you have a failed print, what happens?
If you have a failed print, if you have redundancy to this, right? So if you have a failed print, say you have 3 of these, software is gonna realize that there's a jam in that individual printer and notify you, okay? If you're not there to intervene or you just like, dude, whatever, I can't deal right now, right? All it's gonna do is it's gonna push the jobs to the other 2 printers, okay? So in theory, if you're gone all weekend, you've got 3 printers, one of them goes down, you don't lose 100% of production, you lose 1/3 of production. Okay. Okay, no interaction required. Once you prime this printer, it's ready to go. Okay, that's what I talked about. Remote printing. See, everybody's on the beach right there. They're running their Formwatch printers. Right, beautiful picture, right? So what this does, like I talked about, software I've taught on this, queue management, sets up queue, automatic printer assignments. This also works across multiple groups, right? You guys are all orthodontic labs. You're pretty much doing models, right? But say you had a robust split business, you could go ahead and put 20% of your fleet over to splints, and then the other 80% could just stay on models. So your software is going to push to say your 8 out of your 10 printers on models. You're also going to set up a queue to say all my splints are going to set up in line and go to my splint queue. Cool? Makes sense? Any ramble? Pretend to ramble? No. Okay, cool. Okay. Queue management, just redundancy. I think what you'll see, I think there's a pretty good, I didn't put it in this deck. God, I said this is my perfect deck. I guess I missed the photo. But I think what you'll see is this is a timeline where you can monitor us on our software. This is an auto queue, okay? And this is a traditional printer queue, where there's gonna be gaps in between because it's waiting for operator intervention to go ahead and put more jobs on that printer. What?
Those are our printers. Content lobster, that's mine.
Is it? Okay. I think we had to hack some stuff back
Yeah,
because there was
yeah.
some personal information. You supplied that, I did. So, right? So, Content Lobster. I will tell you, I'm not going to go down that route. There was one name that was pretty unique. All right, I'll share it with you because now I let the cat out of the bag. My favorite one that I ever heard, and you can take this wherever you want, this might just be a 6th sense of humor, my favorite serial number. So if anybody doesn't know, Formwatch printers always names it after an adjective and an noun. Okay, that's our serial because we have fun. My favorite was hissing cockroach. so, right, some people enjoy that, some people are totally creeped out, right? So, when monitoring, the other thing too, batch processing, we're not quite here yet, but the vision is we want to use something called netting, which is something how you link a bunch of parts together in 3D printing. So imagine you run these things all weekend, it runs X amount of jobs, and then you come in, it's like, who's the top, who's the bottom, how the hell do I do this, right? Netting would allow you, say your printer came and it kicked, like I said, once again, 96 parts, 96 divided by 8 is 12, right? Instead of printing 96 parts and sorting them together, you would have 12 parts of 8, right? Helps your operators figure this out a whole hell of a lot easier. And that's coming, and that would just be something like a basic template. You would pull your models in, and it would just drop on top of those. Okay? High volume resin system. This is coming also. We're a little bit behind on this. We're saying Q4 2023.
Gotta push, man. Gotta push.
Van, you have friends. Van, you have friends. It's, you know. So what this is going to be 5 liters. Basically, there's just a bladder in there, right? Just like your soda syrup, same thing. And there's a couple other unique features that actually speed up the dispensing of this, which will help too. And the way I put this is like, listen, a cartridge will get you through like a day and a half, okay? This turns this printer into a 3-day. This is a 3-day weekend printer. And that's what your waste turns out to be, right? I feel better about this. I mean, you know, so. Okay, and then just large batch post-processing. Once again, we have a 3D, we have a parts washer that will accommodate a large batch of prints, and then also a curing unit. So,
curing unit, it's
Yeah,
great.
you have
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those, yeah.
The cleaning of the wash is really the concern,
Yeah.
because everything settles, you know, like
Yeah.
how do you,
There's a pump in there.
okay,
There is a pump in there.
okay.
Okay, so there's definitely, yeah, we're not gonna make you tilt this thing over and
Yeah.
pour it into a bucket. Yeah,
Right,
no.
right, right.
There's a pump in there that'll help you pump the solvent out. One of the things is, and should be hitting this here in a second, yeah, it's just kind of some of the labor volume that, damn, I didn't put it in. You'll actually see the wash will go ahead and greatly reduce also your labor even lower just because of that batch processing.
Right.
It's like doing this all at once versus splitting even that bucket of parts across multiple washes will help you. So we're saying as we eliminate things, we think that we can drop you from about $9, okay, and labor down to about $1.30. I didn't come up with those numbers. I have no idea what some of those numbers. There's smarter people that did it, so I trust them. Okay. Just the truth. And then pre-forwarding dashboard, we do have some updates that are coming out on the 16th that'll help manage this. We're not all the way there, but we do have something that could function as an auto nesting. Okay, where you can program a template, say, hey, these are orthodontic models. I'm pulling this in this software. We're going to go ahead and Tetris the pieces the best we can for you. Evolving. But this is a very, very much nice next step in this. Okay, and this is only available with the 3B. We also have a greatly improved slicing software. Okay, I know a lot of you have design software, and this is somewhat redundancy, but this, when you need this is the help, right? Okay, seamless and easy. We're also going to have a fast print setting that's coming. Out of the gate, this is coming out 200 microns, which is going to be more of a chair side solution. Most of you printed something at 200 microns, your doctor can throw it back at you because they say the appliances are clear enough, right? 100 will be coming, I'm hearing, as early as May, but probably more likely into July. And that will reduce print times by about 50%. So, yep. Right, but the models, I said, it's just showing up the stuff I'm looking for you. Okay. Fast arch mode, that's what I said, this just talks right to the 200 microns, okay? 8 arches in about 20 minutes, pretty damn impressive. I don't want to let the 100 out of the bag because that could be wrong. It just shows you where we're going. SLA Technologies is pretty damn fast for this. Support, we have our support team, I know. I think you can attest to me that our support is
Amazing.
solid,
Yeah.
amazing. So, and, you know, you can purchase a comprehensive support plan that covers everything from you can call us every day if you want, as many times as you want a day. It covers your hot swap, waives out of warranty charges. It's really a nice way to lock in the cost of your hardware anyway, right? Here we are. You go through this, you can read this, right? I think I've gotten it right here. Just to give you an idea, ortho model, if you had a build like this is less than a 2-hour cycle time here. You get about 12 jobs a day, say average 7 models a job. So an auto with those 3 pallet models in there, not the horseshoes, it's 84 models a day. And there's no intervention in between design and wash. Okay. Resin usage and cost. With this volume on those amount of days, it would be about $2.07 a month. So, yeah. And this is just our hardware investment. This is if you don't have a 3D and you want to go ahead and add that on with an auto. So, right. Charging more. Most people say this is like $20K. I'll gladly take $20K for it, but since we're all friends, we'll go for south of 11. And then if you do have a Form 3B and you just want to go ahead and add automation on, it's not what the cost is. And then post-processing, this is how much our washes and cures cost. I think that's it. Questions? Anybody got questions for me?
How fast is the fast cure?
How fast is the fast cure? Fast cures not so. Something like this, splint. This is a 60-minute cure. We'll knock it down to 6 minutes. Okay. This is a 5-minute cure. It'll knock it down to 1 minute. Biocompatible parts, huge improvement. Okay. Models, you just got to decide, right? Models, you just got to decide if it creates a bottleneck. Some people, I think, are maybe better with model production with a large format just to accommodate more, considering the cure time is so fast. just gotta decide what's best for you. And we could talk you through that. Scenarios.
So the gray resin, the V4, you guys changed like a couple years ago, not change it, but you have V2. And then now is a new formula for V2, is that right? Because the ones in the past used to be kind of, you cure, and it's kind of soft, a couple of them. I don't know if you heard about it or what happened with you.
So we're
you guys.
talking about, we have two different gray resins, okay? In color gray resin.
Yeah,
One is
gray.
draft V2.
The V2 draft.
Yep, one's draft V2, okay? And then we also have our gray resin, okay?
Yeah,
Our
the
gray
V4.
resin is V4, correct? You are
The
100%.
V2 draft used to have a issue with like,
Little softness?
yeah, like
Yeah.
not being like, it breaks super easily. But now I have other machines and I have 6 Formlabs too.
Yeah.
And then now they say, I didn't try the new one, but there's a new one, is that right? Faster, and then it's more,
Yeah.
durable. V2 draft, another one.
Yeah, it's this material. You got good hands? Whoa, yeah. That's draft V2. That's draft V2. Come up, talk to me. Anybody else?
The ones before used to like be like, even like not cure it out.
Yeah.
Used to have a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like break easily.
Anybody have any questions? That's it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, cool. Thank you, thank you. That's it. All right.
Any resin like you guys planning to do any water wash resins?
Yeah, not that I've heard. That would be huge. That would be huge. We're looking at other stuff.
Water wash would be
Easy release resin.
What you say?
Or easy release resin would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys working on any kind of separator or anything?
I am fighting that battle. I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
That will be valuable to the industry. Just think about it. You guys would love it, and the people that tour Flex Partners, we hit 2 industries. Right? We're not there yet. We're not there. I know you guys do great. I talked to Eric about that.
Yeah, no, we've got workarounds.
Where's that?
Yeah, so we got workarounds, but
Yeah, but
the cheapest, which seems to work actually pretty decent, but it's not the greatest, is actually dish soap.
yeah. Okay, I've heard dish soap, I've heard Vaseline.
Oh, Vaseline's too messy. I don't want to do it.
What do you use?
I used to subcontract some stuff to you guys. I have Jason Worth on that.
Okay, yeah. Very cool. Yeah.
Actually, I just posted a picture of him and Phil.
Oh, nice, yeah. I'm like just walking around or something, but definitely check out, his, yeah, because I have not seen, you have to go to like.
The principles.
Yeah. So you do one coat, you get it out, and then in contenders, you just before, they prep just as they regular model. And our acrylic resin is top
So you do one coat when you first get them out,
yeah,
and then
the
when you
vendors, but you can see it on the model, it's all primed.
If you damage the clinical ground,
So definitely check it out.
and so I start with by taking a mechanical pencil and I'll use a little fish.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
And then I mark
Okay, yeah.
the material.
Yeah, I know, I'm taller than I am.
Don't do anything on the side.
Yeah.
Half is on the clinical ground and half of it is on the gum line. Eventually, we're gonna lose the one on the gum line.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll see. No, I'll be right back.
We want to preserve that gum line, I mean, that pencil.
Okay,
that's on the
yeah,
clinical
just make sure I
ground,
get back to me, that's all.
mostly all copper.
Because this is mine.
And it is your,
Yeah, that's fine.
it is what determines the size of that band, is that pencil line. And it'll make more sense as I go farther along. Now, I started early. Or late, actually, I started.
We are all late.
I started early before you got Got it. And so I'm gonna hand around another one here, just for fun. And so that pencil line is critical. Now then, the next thing I do is I take basically a cutting disc. I use a diamond one. Here I'm not using a diamond one because I thought people might come in and break the diamond one. They're $40 to $50 a piece. If you break one of those, I don't survive quite as well. I gasp. And these ones will break, so I'm going to do it under the table, because I already shot one across the room earlier today. And I only have one pair of safety glasses, so. And so the key when I'm disking this is I don't care if I ruin the opposing teeth. I don't care if I ruin 7, and in this case the 5. And I also need to go down enough depth for the height of the band. I don't want to go, I need that band height so that it can go subgingival, at least that much. And so I'm going to take this disc and I'm going to cut. All right, what I lose.
There you go. Where the try now.
So if I,
Keep breathing.
Safety glasses, PPE.
So if I cut the disc now, it's because I can't see for the opposing tooth. You're not supposed to. If I did,
not here, are they?
you know what's interesting is I started when there was no safety features in the laboratory. There was no fume controller, dust collector. No, nothing. It's a wonder I'm still alive. Some people might say I'm really not.
It's good minerals.
Yeah, lots of whatever. So the key is preserving. And notice I didn't just go down to the gum line. I went down a little bit deeper. Now I take a number 8 ball burr. Let's see if I have another one here to hand around. A number 8 ball burr is what I use for the next step. Okay. Now the disking part can be done with a saw. It doesn't have to be done with a handpiece. I'm just too lazy to take the time to go like this. I just can't be bothered. So, if I can't use something with a power tool, I don't really like it very much. So, all right.
Saw's less messy.
Are you the one of those
Saw is less messy. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why I like using the saw. IKEA, builds and strips them out.
Oh no, I don't do that. I did that once, and then I learned the hard way.
Max, do you have any more handouts?
I do. Plenty of handouts. So at this point, I take the hand piece, the number 8 ball burr, and the number 8. The ball burr then goes underneath that pencil line. I want it to go underneath so that when I push the band down, I'm not hitting plaster. But I don't want it to hit the pencil line. I got to qualify that. So I go just underneath. And if I hit the pencil line, you're not supposed to. But I'm really not I'm out of my element. Just like everyone here would agree. And when I get to the mesial and distal portion, I push the ball burr. If you notice that it kind of disappears, this is because that's where the plaster holds up. But I still haven't hit the clinical crown. I'm underneath mesial and distal. I almost, if I wanted to, I could go all the way through, but I just go halfway through on one side, and then I come through and I do the halfway on the other opposing side. That one's now deeper than it should be. And I'm going to do half of it, and I like this burr or hand scalpel. There's all different types of knives. This one tool stays with me more than anything that I do, and I modify the end to be a band remover and a band pusher. And so this kind of sits with me all the time. I love the shortness of the blade on this one. And then I put the scalpel blade right on that pencil line, and if I've done this right, I've removed half the pencil line, and I'm just going to do the one side and hand it around. And I haven't carved that one.
Oh, okay.
That was still the
it
original.
looks normal.
That one's normal, but you carve that up to fit the way you like it. So the there's a little dust in the room here. Anyway,
Like Brad
let me
Baker.
do
like
the
Brad
other
Baker.
one here. I'll do one more and I'll pass it the other way, so I can get more dust in my system.
I'm glad I decided to solve this. Right, so you can get it rolled up. You can look like Scarface.
Yeah, everybody blow at once.
Looks like Scarface.
There's no fire alarm. It only senses smoke, not dust. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Check another camera out.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. It's kind of white.
There's another one there.
All those white panels.
There.
How do you feel, Lance, about digitally ditching your model?
So
Because he and I have a.
it's a love-hate following. You
Well-
love the idea and hate actually doing it.
No, he's like we need to be more aggressive when we're digitally ditching. I'm like, no, we should be more aggressive on that because some of them will fit theirs and have us come pick up the bands and then they send us the RX and these RX. The others we have to fit ourselves.
Yeah.
If our tech is more aggressive with those that we're fitting, then we're not going to fit. We're going to fit too small, and we're going to start getting stuff back. We can't be too aggressive.
Here's the issue. If you're fitting for a general dentist, you can't fit them big enough. And you're fitting for an orthodontist, and if you're filling an orthodontist, you can't fit them tight enough.
Right.
And somewhere we have to be the happy medium and know this, and so we keep track of how many times we're remaking the same doctor so that we can try and fix the one doctor rather than think that we're the problem.
Right.
And if we continue to have a problem with the same doctor, we say either you do laser sintered or you send us the bands or we're not doing it. Because we can't afford to be remaking things that we have no control over, especially when they're not fully erupted. A lot of times we don't have fully erupted teeth. And so that matters. So,
will you guys ever just send them back to me if it's not?
we at least put a disclaimer on it, meaning we make the call and say this is only 70% erupted. We're not going to guarantee it.
Yeah, and will you call and say I won't guarantee the fit?
100%.
If there's a remake.
So the other critical part now in fitting this is now there's a pencil line here. If I put a size, or in this case I know the size, if I put too small of a band and it rips that pencil line off, I have fit too small. If I put it on and it doesn't touch the pencil line, then it's too loose. Okay, I want at least a little bit, I want to see a little bit of that pencil line come off, but I don't want to see all of that pencil line come off. And part of that might be that it's coming off because it's just the band is being stretched to fit over this tooth, is more what I...
Which you can do on enamel, but you cannot do on.
But you,
plaster.
100%.
Plaster's just gonna chip right off.
100%. So if you put it on and it rips the plaster to pieces, you've now, and you're not going to stretch this band the way the tooth shapes. You're 100%. So that's once again, that's if you rip that band off. You've now, or rip that line off. You've got a too small of a band, and you have to adjust for it. 16. It was a 16. Yeah, I knew that. And so the key then is to if I start and I have a hula hoop, which is what some doctors like, that's too big. But for an orthodontist, a hula hoop is going to get it to come back as well. And so you have to be able to go both ways and know who your audience is when you're fitting it. The key then is to be able to fit the band so everything is level. You don't want to have one side up on the cusp, the lingual cusp, and really far down on the mesial buccal cusp. You want them to be leveled all the way across. And then you take from your same band pusher, you will adapt your appliance or your band to fit your tooth. And granted, it also depends on the integrity that they give you. They give you a good model. If they don't give you a good model, it's hard to adapt. If they send me the bands then they're already pre-adapted. I try not to. I don't say don't. I try not to readapt their bands because that's where they seated them. And that's where they want them, we assume. But every once in a while they send you one with the buckle tube that's too far distal or cockeyed or whatever it is. We've had that too. And so,
Two rights or two lefts.
can't you just use it? And so then this is just one.
You know, we do ours, we ditch ours digitally, but then we manually go in with it and finish it off.
And this is one where I can send the other direction as well. But you know, the principles that we use here, I want to stress, are the exact same digitally. And that's why it's important to understand the analog when you translate it into digital. But if I was to take and duplicate or scan this and make a digital model and then have a plaster model, sometimes they don't match. And that's the confusing part. You know, they say digital's so much better, but every once in a while, that's where you go along and say we have to be more aggressive because the doctors sometimes complain they're too loose when you fit a digital model.
Yeah, what we get some what he's saying we need to be more aggressive on sometimes. So like I said, like 50-50 of our clients, they'll send a band, they'll send their bands, and then our 3D tech stitches them. We get them printed, we get them, and those bands are a little tight. So we have to go in and we have to remove some more. But I'd rather do that than have them
Too loose.
Because if you go down too
I'm sorry.
you're not going to have you're going to have to try to wax that band on in the proper
And the right height.
at the right height and everything else. And if for some reason she was too aggressive with ones we're fitting with our own bands, we're really screwed because then we're going to size them 1 or 2 sizes too small.
So I would rather scrape it with the scalpel. That's what I use with the scalpel. Because I can scrape a digital model with this, and I go right down just the same way. This will scrape a digital. If I had a digital model right now, which I don't.
I use a really small.
It can, but here's how I order them. And they're fairly inexpensive. And so I expect them just to wear a pair of glasses. You know, you cut your thumb every once in a while and you just get over it.
You have to they have to be in new blades.
And new blades, especially on the 3D models. If you're trying to do this after you've done 3 or 4 or 10 plaster models, it's not going to cut your digital model. So if it's subgingival, it's based on occlusion for me. It's based on the occlusion. And
So you would say like
Make sure to get
a couple millimeters.
15 because there's
And it all depends on the tube.
I'll take the picture.
To know that you're definitely below the height.
Are these all the same size?
Those are all size
But
50.
those ones look thicker than
You can flip it down on your desk and say, okay, I'm sitting on the band, I'm definitely
number 3.
I need to come down.
So
If you're trying to teach, younger people in your lab, it's an easy check. If you've got the band way too high.
So the other thing is when you're ditching and when you're removing the material, you have to remove enough material to get that height, that band subgingival. But let's not go overboard where you remove so much tissue that you can't put an arm of an RPE because you removed everything and then all of a sudden you're impeding on the tissue with the arm of the RPE.
yeah, that distal tissue on the back.
Okay, so if this is the one where I was saying you will make a phone call and you will say, hey, I'm not going to guarantee the fit. And then if it comes back and we do 2 or 3 of those, I don't give them an option. You're laser centered. You have to go laser centered.
Will you ever cut the band down?
We tell them.
I don't cut the bands down.
You'll never cut the band down?
I don't want to say I'll never. I'll do whatever the doctor tells me.
Scan with the bands.
I don't.
Like if I have to do that on a rough
We tell them scan with the bands and send the bands.
cut the bands down.
I've not done that. I try to
accommodate.
That doesn't work.
I try and encourage the lasers.
And then it's also, now they have slimline bands.
They do.
They're a little bit better. You can get away with a little bit more of those. I
Now,
actually prefer those.
this is my method. I don't want to tell you that this is the only method or it's the best method. This is just my method. And to give you, to say that I'm the mastermind behind all this, it's gleaned from 25 other people just like yourself. So, and so take with what I shared here and go with it from here, because there's everything that I've taught here, you're all probably doing some of it, just like I have been through the years. This is just our current system as of today, and it's been that way for quite some time because we found it to be effective at this point.
Yep. That's the main one.
You know, and so this is the point, the very much of what Olivia was mentioning. The whole idea behind your quality management system and training, these are the things that FDA wants to see. And this was done with basically an iPhone, and it really doesn't take that long. So to give you an idea of what happened, I've had 3 OSHA inspections. And the one time the OSHA inspection came, and it's kind of gross what I'm going to say, the air compressor went out, and the ladder to where the air compressor wasn't around, so my brother straddled 2 walls and climbed up on the ridge to get to the wall, to get to the air compressor to turn it off. And as he's coming down, the person from OSHA comes in. He's got wall to wall, and crotch height. She walks in and hits him right where with the forehead. And that was the beginning of my OSHA inspection. It was fabulous. Did you pass?
Did you pass? She loved it?
No, I didn't.
It depends if she liked it.
If she liked it, you would have been.
If she liked it,
Well,
so.
I still wouldn't have suggested that's the way to begin.
Did you pass?
We did all right on that inspection. I hope that it wasn't for that reason. I hope it was actually earned. And that my brother didn't just put out.
You can always be like,
tell
yeah,
him he
we'll
didn't.
put it out, you know.
Anyway, yeah, and how's that happen? And you know what? The only reason why I did all right is I was turned in because I didn't wear my PPE properly, which for OSHA I'm exempt because I don't have to wear PPE, but all my employees do. I'm exempt.
Why?
And so
Did you
because
have-
they,
Because
as the employer,
you can do what you want, but you have to make your employees.
yeah. And so I that's the only reason why I passed, and that was the only thing that they were inspecting us for. And so then I got a review, which turned out to be really positive because I got this basically a
It was all-
$5,000 review
Hey, it was
that
all
only
about
cost
that
me
crotch.
like a few dollars. I think it was a $125 fine for something but
Lance, we know why you passed.
as long as it was my brother and not me, I'm good.
know why you passed.
Anyway, that's my OSHA story, and it's a good one. I have to admit. I wouldn't see.
Better for your brother though. Or maybe her.
I don't know. I saw her.
Oh, they're
That
married
wasn't
today.
good.
We don't get OSHA previous anymore.
Anyway, so there's where I'm at with this. So there's lots of those things that, to answer your question, these are very important to have, and that's where we're going with the ORG. We need your help. We need your support to continue to do things like this. We may not write this exact one, but at least we'll write how to properly fit, what is a proper fit band, because we can't get into the how-tos as much as what is a proper fit band, what is a proper made appliance, and so on and so forth, without getting ourselves into, well, there's some legal reasons why I can't give you the complete how-tos. I can do how-tos here, but I can't do it with the ORG.
If someone were to write up, so you pointed out the appliance
Fabrication
fabrication standards, right? If somebody has written something like that up for their office, is it something we should? Do you feel like we should all like submit that to the
Sure.
ORG? So you
100%.
guys can see that, and that way,
100%.
hey, oh, we don't have this one. Let's
100%.
And hey, okay. So I don't agree with this, but
There'll be a review section in there,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah,
And then that way,
That would be awesome.
if everybody
this is
has
an
that, then that would be we'd have something for everything.
We have a committee right now that just started last year, after the ORG last year. This is basically we created all those things last year. But I had to be able to at least get the vision, and now the vision has been, I've presented the vision. Now we need to move forward as a group together.
Everybody needs to
And
submit
because
their.
every university has their unique appliance that isn't in that book, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
Every university has one thing that they teach differently. We have an OHSU, our wraparound Holly. And they're the only ones that we know that doesn't. And it's kind of a weird thing that they do. Well, it eventually should make it to the book because OHSU needs to have representation. Just like New Jersey or Washington or whatever university has their unique appliance needs to be in that ORG fabrication standard for other people to see.
Yeah. Well, I have a unique appliance that Northside has designed for a side tongue crusher. It probably exists somewhere else, but I've never seen it.
Sure.
I mean,
And this way, if it does show up in the ORG fabrication standards, if it does show up again, we go, oh yeah, it's already here, and then we can adjust it.
some pictures of some really weird things that they just kind of came up with based on the patient-specific problem. And it's like a one-off.
Is that work?
And sometimes those one-off ones.
Or you build the telescope on the side so that it.
I need to close up my meeting so that Gabrielle can start his, but you're getting a vision of where we're going. And I hope that everybody really, I love the encouragement by saying we want to make sure everybody is represented. All those weird appliances and all of those, and everybody's input is always welcome. This is bigger than any one person, and that's what I wanted to come across this year more than anything. Last year,
I mean, if you were to submit something and it goes in for review, and somebody that's been doing it a lot longer than say me or you or her, and and they go, hey, if you do this way,
sure,
you're good. So it's going to allow us to learn on the process we're
100%.
And
So,
I think that's huge.
and truly,
Or you want to see the
FDA
options, have them
standards,
be
we're all
done
starting from the
that
same
way and that way.
So it takes takes a portion of what was talked about with the FDA and solves it for everybody. Why? We're all following the same standards. And then we modify for the doctor based on their prescription.
Right, and that's what covers us, is their prescription.
100%.
You know, there's a lot though. I went to another FDA course when I was in Kentucky. Woodmix had their digital forum, and they were talking about digital and how digital comes in, and how like the hard prescriptions used to have the signature of the doctor, and now that when digital comes in, it comes in and it needs to be like, say they email you the prescription, that needs to be put on an encrypted email, and that has to be followed through. And even they went through like the digital, like processing digital models, like this machine takes this resin, which needs to be cured in this box and needs to be handled that way. And if one of those systems is broken, that is not an FDA approved model.
That's right.
So that was,
All of these questions tomorrow, we're having a roundtable. All these comments, keep them.
But you know what, listening to FDA today, I'm like, there's no
There'll be
time to
lots
make
of
any
groups,
appliances.
yes.
If I would go and follow every single thing,
Then you're out of business because you're just doing FDA.
right.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
Why you have to have somebody to do it.
Yeah, but being
All right,
a small
let's,
lab, to have someone.
I will stay behind and answer more questions, but let's continue. I use
The perforated, right?
what's that?
The perforated.
And they're perforated.
Thank you, Lance.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time, and I hope that you will all continue to spread the word of why we need the ORG. And it is truly bigger than me
Lance,
and
look at
anyone's
that.
person.
Like, you know, like I make expanders for one company, big corporate, like few doctors. Like, you know, if I fit bands, that's how the orthodontists 100% expanders fit always. Never fail. But the lingual is way lower.
And that is, sometimes the doctor will fit the lower so that the draw
Yeah.
will fit. And so that's, you have to then allow for that.
And I
So a lot
love
of
it.
doctors,
It's like
'cause they go on
100%. Some of them were like leveled and
So, all right, let's turn the time over to Gabriele. So, he's talking about digitally planned RPs, CAD-assisted RPs, and it's all done digitally. And they yeah, his is all in one.
So after lens with by hand, analog adaptation.
Look, your hands dry out doing it my way. Look how dry they are, and I've only done 2 models.
Okay, I'm going to talk about briefly about our software and as well as our shoes.